Hi, and welcome to another episode of Chamber Chat. Today we're discussing Airbnbs and more with our friend Christine Warrington. She's the owner of Serenity Cottage, Horse Farm, and Airbnb.
Yes.
And she's also a candidate for state representative. So good afternoon. Right now it's afternoon. I'm not sure when you're watching it. Good afternoon, Christine.
Hi, how are you, Amanda? It's great to see you.
Great to see
Zoom.
you.
Second
Zoom you.
today.
That's gonna be a new thing. Hi, nice to Zoom you.
Yes, it's cute.
So Airbnbs, we were just talking about this. Airbnbs have come a long way from three guys in their air mattress in their San Francisco apartment. Can you give us just a little background on Airbnbs and then what got you interested in them?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to date, there are over 65,000 properties around the world. And, to me, that still doesn't seem like a lot, considering there's quite a few in our marketplace right now, probably 30 to 40
Wow.
In Northwest Tennessee. So 65,000 doesn't seem like a lot when we're doing pretty well with it, but they're all over the world. And it's really an opportunity, again, to share your home or your property and to provide a unique experience to someone in your community. And it's just, it's a fun way to meet amazing people. I can tell you that for sure. But I opened mine at the farm in Humboldt. And I never dreamed, again, this was in 2016, I would have never dreamed in a million years that people would come through Bethel Church Road and the numbers they have. It's been absolutely mind-boggling, but they do. And people say, well, what do they come out here for all the time? They're just traveling. It's not like they're setting Humboldt as a destination because they know nothing about Humboldt when they come to it. They are traveling through and they want to be on a farm. And today is National Horse Day. So I just posted this morning when I went out to feed them pictures of them, because the horses on the farm and the farm community as a whole, farm experiences are the number one book thing on Airbnb around the world.
Wow.
So, that's probably why the farm gets so much attention, but the horses are definitely a draw for a lot of the guests out there.
That's a big plus. Yeah, that's, that would be a big plus for me, of course.
Yeah, basically the farm is paid for because of the horses. That's what I tell people.
That's it.
Our farm, yes.
So how many do you have? You've got the farm, and there are 2 or 3 locations on the farm.
I have 2 now. I had a third. I had a glamper out there for 2 years that just about broke me because it was on the lower cost end out there, and just some real adventuresome people book it, and so, but it was just turning that over all the time was a lot of work. And so once I bought the house in the city last year, I did a little bartering for the trade of that for some work on this home. But I have 2 active ones there. The whole farmhouse is available, and it's been booked through 2022 right now, which is part of the reason how I decided to go for the position I went to politically. I had to get that farm managed before I could commit, to that kind of time in Nashville.
So if you wonder why you don't see ads locally on the chamber, it's not that we're ignoring her. She doesn't need me.
Yeah, I love the chamber, and I
not for ads anyway.
Yeah, supporting the chamber, but Airbnb has some of the coolest marketing out there. It's very fresh and it makes it very attractive. And then once you become a super host, which I'll talk about in a little bit, your property is automatically pushed at the top. So when people search on Jackson, Tennessee, because that's a cross point between Memphis and Nashville on the highway, my property is actually number 1, and it still continues to be the number 1 property on that search. So, they have the tools to do it, and I just count on them to do it.
Sure.
And nobody else. So,
and you're not going to get local, but you're not going to probably get somebody from inside the city limits as much. Now you get some people from out of maybe Jackson. Now, we've heard those stories, but you're not going to get local people as much.
Well, let me tell you the trends on that right now. I just participated in a Zoom call on Airbnb for updates. And because the travel restrictions are going on right now around the world, people are staying close to home. And I don't know if I shared this with you, but I'll put it on video now. I had a couple a few weeks ago that were 5 minutes from their house and came and stayed on my property for one night to get away from their kids. They were old enough to stay at home by themselves.
I get that. Okay, I can understand.
Yeah, they said, we just have to get away for one night. We just have to get. I said, okay, it's no problem. But
well, you and I talked about Southern Living. This I think we talked about it the other day with one of our other local Airbnbs and B&Bs with Magnolia Manor. Yeah. That Southern Living did a study back 2 months ago, and in the heat of the pandemic and the shutdown, and people said we don't want to go more than an hour to 2 hours from home. We want to stay, and if we go any place, we want to stay in the South. And the number one state outside of some place with a beach was Tennessee.
I don't know.
Yeah, and people who are in big cities are going to want to come someplace small. So
yeah, they love it primarily because, and again, I tell people, to come out and take a look at it. It's such a simple, very simple house. There's nothing fancy about the house or the guest suite. They're just very simple. They're well appointed, I say, and they're super duper clean all the time. Mm-hmm. But it's really the farm environment that they're most attracted to, and just like the Serenity of it, which I didn't have it originally set up with that name. I don't even remember what stupid name I had on it, but one of my guests that was there for 3 days recommended that name, and I'm always interested in feedback from my guest. And as soon as she said it, I said, that's what it's got to be. So that's kind of how I took off with that. But it's, farm properties are happening, which I just encourage people in this community. If you've got a house or a room that you aren't doing anything with, this is a great way to really upgrade it and upscale it and make some pretty significant amount of money off of it.
Do you think Airbnb is supposed to, of course, this was before the pandemic hit, they were supposed to go public at some point this year. Do you think that's going to change anything about the business?
Well, they, first off, they drastically laid off probably 1/3 of their company during the pandemic. So they're going through some rough patches right now. I had a phone call with them this morning, and, I told them, I'll say at this point, the service for me as a superhost has probably not been very good during the pandemic because they've been so overwhelmed, with cancellations and phone calls. So, and then they cut their staff back drastically. So they're going through a little bump right now. So it would make sense, that they're going to make a move, in that direction. Sure. I don't ever see it going away. And they have literally buried the only other real competitor is VRBO and HomeAway, and they just went through a final merger acquisition thing. I don't see them Airbnb ever going away, and they're forcing their competitor into drastic changes at this point.
Well, and going with an IPO that's going to hopefully get an infusion of cash.
Yeah,
which is what sounds like they desperately need at this point. So
yeah. Now there's another part of this. It's an additional arm of the business. So on the farm, I have massage therapist on call. I have, we started yoga in this eagle's nest thing that I had built out there, and all the experiences had to go on hold. You couldn't do anything like that on the property. So that's kind of cut back a little bit of the revenue potential, but in the same breath, the number of nights booked increased during the pandemic. So right now I'm trending about 1/3 higher than the same time last year. And I stay pretty booked.
Yeah.
And so it's really picked up during the pandemic and hasn't slowed down at all.
And no masks required.
No, I've been able to meet, again, just a lot of Texas people, which we know what the rates are in Texas. Yeah. And, I just respect what people want to do when but with 8 acres, we're able to keep all the social distancing. When they get out of the car, if I happen to be there, I always just keep my distance. But a lot of them get out of that car with a mask on to meet me. I can tell you that.
And that's the thing. It's just about respect.
Yes, it is.
It's the same way we are in our office. If you come in with one, we'll do one. If not, we're going to respect whatever. And that's what we keep telling people is just be kind. Just be kind. Whatever the issue is, just be kind.
And flexible. I think that's really, really good. So
I think that's important. So you don't think anything's going to change. Do you see anything different in the future of Airbnb? Do you see them growing into something else? Or, office
Yeah.
space or something like that.
You know, they're so creative. I mean, and this is a San Francisco based company. And I actually tried a couple of times. They had some positions in there that I wanted to do remotely. So I tried to, I was like, oh gosh, when I love something and I believe in it, you know, I'm one of the best salespeople in the world for it. So I just thought they were amazing and tried to lock into them. But they're giving us, you know, trends on things for the future, even through the pandemic right now. We're making adjustments and you know, they expect it to get more and more popular. I mean, people, you know, they've surpassed Marriott in number of overnight stays, and that's the #1 hotel chain in the world. So they've got the, you know, the fast moving train, and they've got the creativity, definitely have the creativity and wherewithal to come up with some other ideas. But of course, the pandemic's put a pause on a lot of that. No, it's some of the best people come through these things. I tell folks, you know, they leave the property better than you left it for them a lot of times. And the other great thing, you know, there's an intimacy to it that's very attractive for both sides. You know, if you like people, you know, I told you before we got on here, I said, I actually have a list of people who should not do Airbnbs because I've opened over 20 now. I helped Magnolia Manor in that transition process for theirs. But, you know, if you don't like people, you don't need to be doing this because this is a people-oriented type business, you know.
The same way old Airbnb, I mean, the same way just bed and breakfasts are. I mean, you've got to be people-oriented if you're going to welcome people into your home, especially, or into, you know, what is going to be their home for the night, the week, or whatever. So yeah, you've got to really like people to do this.
You do, and that's really the part I've appreciated the most coming back to West Tennessee in 2015. I was used to meeting people from all over the world every day in my work, and all of a sudden I got back home and I was on that farm by myself, and I'm like, oh my gosh, where are all the people? And, you know, I always tell folks I'm a prayerful person. If anybody had any idea how many times I pray in a day, they'd be absolutely shocked. But, you know, I just said, Lord, you know, you got to do something here for me. I've got to have some people. I got to have people. And I put that out thanks to my daughter. She came in and actually stayed in it. And, you know, she said, Mom, you got to put this on Airbnb. And I was like, well, nobody's going to come to Humboldt, for gosh sakes, they're just not going to come here. And I went to New York for 10 days and had 5 bookings in the first 10 days. And I had 1 pair of sheets. And so there lied that problem. I sent my mama to Walmart and I'm like, buy the sheets, the troops are coming. And I think right now I'm looking at close to, I think last look, 860 unique visits. So they can stay anywhere from a day to, you know, now I've got it over a year booking out there. So it's been
great.
well.
That's great. And that's great for the city as well, because it's a really nice place. It's, you know, speaking as a chamber and the tourism arm of the city, being able to say, we've got some great places for you to stay if they're not booked. If you're coming in for, you know, the Tennessee Watercolors exhibit is going to be here.
I've got to put that up on the site. So,
you know, it's going to be great. And, you know, if we've got whoever coming in to stay or see, or if they're going to Discovery Park, or they're, you know, maybe they want to go to the winery. We've got some, you know, there's lots of things that they can do, get out of the city and have a slow paced time, and they can shop downtown and they can do all of these things, but they need some place to stay. And if they're going to have a small town, you know, visit, they don't want to stay in a big city hotel. So this is a great place to just feed right into that small town atmosphere.
Yeah. And I have done everything on my guidebook or all the places in Humboldt. And you've seen where I've posted up when these clients put it on my review, I try and put it out over to the business to let them know. I don't even have to send it to the coffee shop anymore because I've gotten so many accolades about them. It's hard, not worth sending it. But I got a super nice, you know, shout out from Milano's and recently that I loved, and Wall Street Grill. And then I know Humboldt was just in VIP magazine. I saw Jessica Alsterbrook post something on that. And I was like, what, am I missing anything? Because I couldn't find the magazine article. And I want to make sure that I'm highlighting, you know, the businesses in there, and Crown Winery. And then I had posted it, and then, you know, Maine, the shop owner.
Maybe take,
Yeah, she's like, please make sure I got mine on there. Well, I do have hers on there. You know, I have hers on there. I have City Gift. I have Companion Gallery. They love Companion Gallery and the winery when they do that two combination out there. So I'm just so proud of the local businesses in Humboldt and the quality of service they do.
Yeah.
In that town has helped me immensely because that's the only place I send my guests. I mean, it's Sam's Barbecue, it's City Gift, it's Creative Accents, it's Mi Casita. I mean, I can just, you know, vomit them.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't get is that there's so much to do. If you stay a day, I mean, there's, you know, there are several little gift boutiques that you can shop in and several places to go and places to eat that are nice places to eat. And if, you know, if you're here on a weekend, you can go to the movies that night and you know, in a 1943 theater. So it's fun. And so we love the fact that you share that our businesses with the guests.
Yeah, if they have a decent Facebook page, that's what I have to get it on that electronic guidebook. But if they have a decent, like Gibby's, I want to get Gibby's up there. I think that place is just so unique, you know, and people would like to stroll through there. I do have the West Tennessee Arts Center, and I'm glad there's a watercolor thing coming up because I'll go in there and do a little push on that for the guests coming in this week. But it's just such a good collaboration, and I couldn't do it without the local businesses in Humboldt. That's the true partnership of Airbnb. When you have a property that has unique shops, then that's a win-win situation. I got a unique property, Humboldt's a unique city with unique shops, and it's just a real win-win for me.
It is. Well, thank you, Christine. We appreciate you talking to us, telling us about Airbnb and everything going on. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Amanda. You have a great day.
Thank you.